Welcome to Rainbow Soulstrology, a weekly podcast presented by Brighthawk and Hollis Taylor. Together, we lay out the weekly astrology in an accessible, inclusive, candid, and insightful way, and what it means for you. Hollis is amazing. They're a seasoned astrologer and psychic medium. I'm a musician, artist, and storyteller. We love to make the cosmos relatable, which is why we begin by tuning in with a guided meditation, helping all of us ground and center and feel the planetary energies of the week more deeply. Then we dive into this week's astrological forecast, answer your questions, and then look at the horoscopes for all the signs for the week. Whether you're brand new to astrology or you've been following the stars for years, welcome to the conversation. Welcome to Rainbow Soulstrology. Let's get centered, take a breath, and explore what the universe has in store for us.
Oops. All right. Well, welcome everyone. Welcome. I hope y'all can see us. I can see that. Yeah. Okay. Just trying to get us to show in the vertical version, but I guess it's not going to do that. So, welcome everyone. As you know, we do our weekly forecasts, and we are here. We're kind of in a little bit of a spot, to be honest, because we just moved. We're in our new house. There's a bunch of boxes behind us, so just don't even ask. And we have survived, and we know we missed last week, and I know some of you have been like, oh no, I just want to know what's coming up next. Okay, so we want to we want to get through this time, and so sometimes this is what it's going to look like, at least for this week. Hopefully next week we'll have our stuff a little bit better together, and we'll record ahead of time, and then we'll do the live. But tonight we're just going to do the forecast for this week. And then if you have any questions, we encourage you to put them in the comments, and we will do everything we can. We'll do everything we can to answer your questions at the end. Okay. So I appreciate you all for tuning in. We all have made it through another Mercury retrograde. So I hope you take this minute to take a deep breath. So just take this minute to center, get yourself centered. Okay. And I just want you to imagine being in outer space. Just forget everything that's happened and just let it all go. And just allow yourself to float through outer space with nothing behind you, nothing around you, and just pure weightlessness. And I want you to recognize that there are stars and planets in the distance, and you are among them. You can feel the warmth from the distant sun and the darkness that goes on forever in front of you. And I want you to just take this moment to recognize that while you are part of this scene, you don't really have a whole lot of control over it. You can't push any planets or pull any of them. But what you can do is choose how you are in it. You can choose to stay rested in this moment. You can choose to stay present here and now, allowing the music and all that is and all that there is to hold you, to guide you. And I want you to prepare yourself to open up. Open yourself to the blessings of the universe. Because while sometimes the universe tells us what might be hard, it also tells us when a blessing is here. And I want you to open your heart. You can put your hand on your heart if that helps. And I want you to imagine the universe blessing you in this moment, bringing blessings to you, bringing what is right, bringing things round right. And as you feel yourself held and blessed by the universe, you recognize that the planet Jupiter has been by your side this whole time. And that the universe had this all planned from the beginning. And you can feel gratitude, feel that gratefulness rise up in your heart for the good things that happen in your life, for the blessings that come to you. Welcome them now. Stay open to them now. Open your heart to gratitude and blessings. And stay in that feeling of gratitude as you come back into your body, into this moment, into the here and now. Welcome to Rainbow Soul. Woohoo! Well done, Bright Hawk.
Well, thank you very much.
I know it probably feels good to play that after doing other things all day.
Yeah.
Bright Hawk's been painting and I've been unpacking. So, we are really busy. So it's easier for us to combine this right now until we get it all settled in again. Once we get our desks set up and whatnot, it will be so much easier. And right now, the background is all boxes, so you know.
So we thought you'd enjoy my painting instead, my cosmic painting.
Yeah, one on the left, Bright Hawk. I just let's get it. So yeah, so I hope that all of you have navigated this Mercury retrograde in a good way. I hope you've been okay. I hope that has been okay for you. I mean, some of us had a harder time than others, and that's just really we definitely had our struggles. That's for sure. So and we recognize that some of you might be struggling and going, "Oh my god, Hollis said this was going to be a blessing." And I'm like, there is, it's coming. And some I noticed even some of the things, because I stayed open to the blessings, I suppose, maybe even some of the things that went wrong, I was kind of like we had this whole fiasco with the carpet. We had to get a new carpet in one room, and we had this whole fiasco with Lowe's. Like, we sent our guy to go pick it up and la la la. Anyway, so after an hour and a half on the phone with them, I got half off the price. So I was kind of like, maybe I wasn't,
Fiasco or great discount.
maybe,
You know,
I mean,
it's all in the perspective.
maybe I wasn't meant to pay full price for that carpet, right? So, because it was all their fault. It was all completely their fault. So, and in the end, I'd probably rather pay the guy that's putting it in. I'd rather pay him a little bit more for making an extra trip that ended up not having any carpet than to pay Lowe's, right? So, you know, in the end, especially in a time, the times that we're living now, right, with the oligarch and all that. So I was like, okay, fine. So I just noticed things like that. Maybe you noticed some things like that. If you had things go wrong, maybe even when we fixed it, um, even when you started to get through it, that it turned out to be okay. I'm hoping that it's like that, and I still have to get our chimney worked on and whatnot, but we're gonna be okay. Yeah, but that's all part of the Mercury retrograde, you know. So, so what was your Mercury retrograde like? Let us know in the comments. Let us know how it went for you. Was yours about home? Was it about your life? Was it about your relationships? Of course, ours is all about relocating in our day-to-day life, right? So, all right. So all of you, um, it's still just cutting you off a little bit there, Bright Hawk.
As long as people can see the deck, that's the main thing.
They should be able to, yeah. And so you can see here that we're going through, I'm gonna make it big here. So I kept these Bright Hawk and I kept these dates on here because they haven't happened yet. We have made it through March for the most part. It's going to be a little bit quiet, and but then April's got a few happenings. We do have a full moon in Libra, which I think could be a little bit intense. Um, we have this Uranus entering Gemini. So the May is going to be easier, is what I would first say. But April is going to be a little bit of a roller coaster, a little bit. But I think that some of the stuff in April will be less personal and more because it involves the outer planets. I think we're going to be seeing stuff in our politics. So, so I encourage you to to tune in every week, and I'll try to guide us through that as that unfolds. And I think what you're going to notice is that things are going to start unfolding for us. Okay, so today, Sun is in Aries. It's still conjunct Saturn technically. It's 5 degrees away. So, but there's still a lot of energy in Aries, along with the Neptune, which will be hanging out there for I think this next like 15 to 18 years or something. And then Saturn, the number one thing that's been happening now until I'm pretty sure it's a full moon till the end of this week, which I noted here, was the Saturn sextile Pluto. Now it's also in a trine. Pluto is in a trine to Uranus, and Uranus is in a sextile to Saturn. But really, that's a minor trine. But really, what's most, because Uranus is at 28 degrees, it's pretty far away, but it's still within an orb. But really, what's most important is that Saturn sextile Pluto. Okay, and that Saturn sextile Pluto, I think that is what's going to propel us forward, because Saturn, remember, it's in Aries. So this is one astrologer said it might just kind of push Donald Trump out of office, which I thought was interesting. There is a lot of people waking up to, and did you notice every time Neptune gets a little bit further away from Saturn, that the illusions that are around this administration begin to fall? I think it's a little strange that that I didn't get my paycheck for protesting. Um, no one ever promised me anything, but Donald Trump said I'm supposed to get paid for that. And so silliness like that. So I think there's some of that going on. So that's an example of the illusion in the system, right? Because we've got Neptune and Saturn, and Neptune, remember, is illusions, lies. It can be delusions of all sorts. It can also be spirituality. It can be vision forward, and things like that. But with it in Aries, I feel like Saturn in Aries, Neptune in Aries, I don't feel like Neptune is super comfortable. Neptune's a water sign, and Aries is a fire sign, first of all. Um, Neptune is more comfortable in Pisces, which is where it was. And so Neptune in Aries doesn't feel exactly comfortable to me. It's 3 degrees away from Saturn, and every time it starts to move, every time they move apart, um, I feel like we're kind of going like this with the illusion in our system. So I think more and more people are starting to wake up, hopefully, to realize the illusion of our current system. So with Saturn in a sextile to Pluto, Pluto, of course, is destruction, but it's also death, change, and transformation. And it's in Aquarius right now at 5 degrees, and they're in a perfect sextile. And a sextile is when these two planets can come together for the higher good, usually. for something that's better somehow to improve. It comes together easily. Comes together. They let go of their differences and come together. And Pluto is also about power and control, and it's in Aquarius right now, which is pretty emotionally removed. And Saturn in Aries is also, I wouldn't exactly say it's emotional. I'd say if it's emotional in any way, it's pissed off. Um, Saturn in Aries sextile Pluto makes me feel like this is hopefully maybe people realizing that um that like the wars and things like that are a problem. Hopefully, this will also have to do with the No Kings March, which has already happened. I swear our friends not getting their paychecks. And so the more that we realize, the more that, well, that's what they're saying. I've seen that like 20 times in the news. And I'm like, do people really think, wow, okay, like that's like an official, that was just released, I think today or Friday. It was an official announcement from the White House that they were, that those people were being paid.
Which we all know is ridiculous, which is why I'm looking at Hollis going, this feels like a very flat joke.
It is a very flat joke, but everybody probably thinks it's funny, because we all know it's not true. We all know that we weren't paid to dislike the Trump administration.
8 million people showed up around the world to say no kings.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So,
like people in the UK, people in Canada,
all over the world.
yeah, yeah. I seen Canadians in the UK put their protest up. I was like, whoa,
I'm
okay.
Sure. I'm sure.
I mean, I was not surprised to see Americans, and of course, there were plenty of people here in Granville. I thought it was hilarious that some of them were holding up their little signs that said some interesting things, and that said things like I wasn't paid for this and stuff. I was like, that's right. Um, so that sextile I think is meant to, for the protests to be really loud, and for the system to look ridiculous, and for people to express their disapproval, because this is about power and control. But Aquarius is about all of us coming together, right? This is about we the people. And this is we the people, the groups of people, the protesters, gaining power and control. I really think this sextile is about that. So that's this week. So watch out for those kinds of things happening where you see where people that are moving in the movement of for the people, we the people, for that movement, that we're all actually coming together in a good way. Actually, I think it will also create distress for the people that are not about that, right? Um, Especially since Mercury is opposite the moon today, right? So the moon is in Virgo, and it's conjunct the south node. So the past, I think people are wising up and they're going, are you using the Iran war to distract us from the Epstein files and things like that? And I think that that's because that's the south node, which is the past, Virgo, which is the land, the moon, which is very emotional, and it's opposite Mercury, which is in Pisces, which is with the north node right now. And that opposition, creates a lot of push pull. And so I think that that's what's going on today. The good news is, for us personally, I think that this Mercury is about to come into a perfect trine later this week, exactly on Thursday. And that is going to be really important because Mercury is in Pisces and Jupiter is in Cancer. And I've been talking about Jupiter in Cancer now most of the year, for like last year and this year. And Jupiter in Cancer is very much about our it's about patriotism because Cancer rules home and things of that nature, but also Jupiter represents like an expansion and also belief systems, especially patriotism and
Higher thinking.
higher thinking. And since it's direct now, every time it goes direct and every time it's positively aspected, like in this case, when it's positive things, it's usually, the real patriots, people like you and me, people that believe we are all equal and that sort of thing. Okay. So I think that that is really beautiful about that. That's what's beautiful about Mercury and Jupiter together. That will unfold throughout the week, and that's a big blessing for us. I mean, Mercury is in Pisces. That's a pretty good. Mercury likes to be in Pisces, and Jupiter likes to be in Cancer. So it's going to be sort of the dominant energy of the week. Although Venus has moved into Taurus as of today, and Venus likes to be in Taurus. So, really, the planets are having a good time. And I find that part interesting considering what's happening in our politics. But also notice that Mercury is a personal planet, Venus is a personal planet, and Jupiter sometimes is a personal planet. And since it's in Cancer, it's even more so a personal planet in the moment because its ruling planet is the moon, which is definitely a personal planet for all of us. So I really think that this week politics will be politics, and that's probably what we'll hear with the stuff going on in Aries, with the larger planets in Aries, the sort of the outer planets, and with the personal planets in their exalted sign or rulership. I feel like that's gonna add some positivity to things. Like, I mean, you know,
Yeah, it's a little bitter and sweet, because of course Saturn and Pluto are not exactly benefics. They're not exactly nice. They tend to be teachers for sure. Uh Saturn can sometimes feel withholding. Pluto, of course, is very transformational and gets to all the things under. Of course, it's the ruler of Scorpio. So think underground, anything under. And revealing secrets, this just keeps coming up over and over and over, especially relative to the Epstein thing. So um,
digging
I
up
think there's
bones.
I think there's some real potential of positivity. Well, and you have South Node conjunct the Moon, so things from the past right there.
Right.
Um,
And I thought it was interesting. We don't have any, there's a little bit of void moons, but not huge ones. Um, there is a little bit of one. I think it's tomorrow, or sorry, Wednesday after this. This is Tuesday. You'll see that the Saturn sextile Pluto is still happening. They're at 5 degrees. So if you have anything at 5 degrees Aries or 5 degrees Pluto, you're going to be feeling that. Okay. But otherwise, we're probably just going to be watching it in the news. Okay. So I think that Saturn and Pluto is mostly just, I think you're just going to be watching it in the news unless you have something there. Okay. Like something around 4 or 5,
yeah,
maybe 6 degrees Aquarius, or 4, 5, 6 degrees Aries. I even have a planet at 8 degrees Libra, and I'm doing okay. All right. And that's opposite the sun and Saturn right now. So I don't feel like it's terribly I feel like the outer planets typically speak to politics and to what's happening out there, right? Okay. Now, Venus and Taurus. Let me just speak to that for a second. Venus is about money and relationships. If you happen to have anything in Taurus, Taurus is about relationship. It's about it's about sensuality, it's about what feels good, it's about um luxury, it's about knowing what feels good for you. So if you have anything in Taurus, pay attention to what the degree is. When Venus goes over it those couple of days, you'll probably feel it. You might have a good day on those days. And I don't feel like astrology should all be about predicting the bad days. Like, I think we should also be predicting the good days. So giving you a heads up when blessings are coming. I feel like if you have something in Taurus with Venus there, it's a good feeling. Now, it's in conjunct the moon, but that's not going to last very long. Venus moves fast, the moon moves fast. So I feel like that's minor really. And we still have the same things going on with Saturn sextile Pluto and Jupiter. Jupiter will be coming into a better trine with Mercury, but it won't be exact until Thursday. So we could feel a little bit of a build up to things, or a knowing that something's going to happen on Thursday or Friday, or maybe Wednesday for some of us. And now Venus is squaring Pluto. So you could, I imagine that to be like, almost like, for some of us, if something good does happen, you could be like, "Oh, this is really great," or this investment is really great, but I feel terrible because of what's happening in the world, right? Like, people are being bombed and things like that. That's Venus square Pluto in Aquarius. That's almost feeling badly for what is going good for you because of what bad things are happening around the world, right? Or a fear that that's going to come and get you, like that Iran or someone else is going to come bomb the United States. The fear also rules Pluto. So I feel like if you're dealing with some of that, know that that's probably the Venus square that could get more intense throughout the week if you have that kind of that playing in your background. Could also be as a result of trauma. And Pluto's all about making you revisit your trauma, making you revisit your trauma. So, Pluto loves to do that. Um, it loves for you to go underground, right? And trauma typically is stored underground. So Pluto just loves that. It's its favorite place to be. So on Wednesday, I did notice that we had a little bit of a T square with the moon in Libra, with Jupiter. I wondered how that would be with the sun in Aries. I don't think it will affect your personal life so much. If you have something around 12 degrees Libra, or 12 degrees Aries, or 12 to 15 degrees Cancer, maybe. But it's pointing to Jupiter. So Jupiter is about expanding and understanding our belief systems, and it's about blessings and good luck. Um, it could be really a big deal, yeah. But I feel like it's probably going to be, um, it'll probably play out with our government, with our politics. It could be pretty big with the protests, and with those kinds of things could play out pretty intensely, maybe emotionally, on this full moon in Libra. This is actually Wednesday, so this is the full moon that everyone's talking about. This is the full moon in Libra. Sometimes full moons can be a little bit on the intense side, can sometimes bring unpredictable energy forward, unpredictable behaviors for some. Um, it could happen. Could happen. Um, I feel like with the T square to Jupiter, though, I feel like that's not going to be. It's not going to be huge. I don't. I mean, some astrologers are calling for it to be pretty intense. But I'm looking at it going, but it's Jupiter, and Jupiter's in a trine to Mercury. It's almost perfect on Thursday. So whatever it is, it's going to end up being a blessing. So I don't feel like, unless you have something at exactly 12 degrees Libra or 12 degrees Aries, I do feel like there could be some intensity maybe in our government or something, or maybe there could be some push pull between yourself about about independence versus relationships and what that looks like and how to balance that. But I really think if you lean into your emotions and your feelings and the emotional side of things, I really think you'll be okay. What do you think about that full moon, Bright Hawk?
I agree with what you've said. I think the influence of Jupiter in the T square makes me feel like, well, at least Jupiter's, I think of as an amplifier, but generally in a good way. Obviously Jupiter rules Sagittarius, so I'm very familiar with Jupiter. And the fact that it's gone direct makes me feel like, okay, this could be good. And it's still in Cancer, so it's still sort of close to hearth and home. Um, the moon in Libra speaks to the scales of balance and legal matters. And so, I wonder about that. A full moon in Libra, will legal matters be amplified? You have it squaring Jupiter. It might be challenging, but maybe it'll come around right. Looks like Shawnee's got a thing on Thursday, Thursday court thing on
We'll
Thursday.
answer questions when we're
We'll
done.
do that at the end. But the Libra moon, I think that has a positive vibe to it. That I'm hopeful for legal matters.
Yeah, I think we'll have to take a look at the more individuals later. Right now, we're just looking at the overall picture. We'll answer questions in the comments as soon as we're done here. So the Venus square on Saturday will be exact on Saturday. So I feel like once we get to Thursday, Thursday is when Mercury and Jupiter are in a perfect trine. There now Jupiter is in a square to the sun at that point. Um
And the other thing I would say about Thursday is it's a void of course moon all day long, which means low dramatic energy. Speak to the facts. Um, Again, you have that potency of the sun with Saturn in Aries on the world point. All of that is world energies. I agree with you about that. It's unless these are on your personal degrees that Hollis has been talking about, you should be okay. The Jupiter trine Mercury is, very positive communication, very positive. And the Venus square Pluto is going to continue to build through the weekend. But all of that gets mitigated by the fact that the moon is in a void of course, which means that it's in between. It'll be very low drama. The moon will go from being high drama on Wednesday, full moon, boo, everything a full moon is, to
yeah, it's just going to be
opposite
chill.
vibe, chill moon on Thursday. Less dramatic.
Yeah, and as we go on into like Friday, you can see that the void moon goes all the way through till Friday at
Wow.
8. So that's like the most significant void moon.
Really big.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny how they do that sometimes.
Yeah, and it's really the only one. There's another one, but it was only a couple hours or something. But the this day, Friday, I feel like Thursday and Friday, will get the blessing, and then there'll be pretty quiet days. There'll be fairly normal days. There'll be less drama, hopefully, and more, I mean, the moon is going to move into Scorpio, so it will intensify, but unless you have something there, you probably, even when I've had a void moon on my moon, it wasn't that dramatic. So, I felt like it was okay. So I feel like there are some squares, there are the T squares. There will probably be a lot of emotional energy about we the people, about politics, about power and control. That will be the theme of the week. So there will be lots of that going on, I assure you. The news will be a very busy place. Please limit your exposure so that way you are open to the blessings that are coming your way, because it's sometimes hard to be open to the gifts of the universe when you're so focused on what's happening. And I'm not saying to disconnect, because that's not a good idea either. You should absolutely stay connected and to know what's going on, know when the protests are. I mean, most of us don't need any convincing. Most of us listening to this do not need convincing about where we stand in politics. I mean, if this is a queer channel, most of us, we've been on this side since the first time this guy was prez, right? And now he's prez again, and we're just kind of like, really? Okay. So, yeah, most of us have been on this side for most of the time. So, and if you're new to that, welcome to our team. But most of us know where we're at. Just stay updated so you can know what's going on, so you know who to vote for when it's your time, so you know when to vote, so you know what's happening and when. But outside of that, try not to obsess, okay? Because I think this could be a time to overindulge, especially with Mercury and Pisces. Pisces is very sacrificial, and Jupiter is sometimes overindulgent. You could absolutely find yourself overindulging in the news. That could be a negative way that you could personally engage in this. So, what I would suggest is that I personally try not to watch too many reels. I try to read about it. So, there's only a limited amount of time that I'm going to read. And then I just look at the headlines, read a few things, and maybe read this or that. But other than that, I don't spend a whole lot of time on it. I already know where I stand, so it's just a matter of me waiting for everything to change. Okay, so hopefully you won't. That would be the one way I could see you could mess this up. Now, Saturday is a grand trine. So this is beautiful energy. This is this is expansive energy with Mercury in Pisces, with Jupiter in Cancer, which is very much about home, and with Scorpio, with the moon in Scorpio. These are all beautiful blessings, beautiful, delightful things, bringing us really good energy. This is a grand trine on Saturday. If you got something happening on Saturday, I can almost probably going to be a pretty good day. Okay. And Venus is square Pluto on this day. So you might have to work a little bit hard, you know, with relationships or something. Maybe you have to work to include everybody or something like that, or there's a power or control issue. But outside of that, I think it's okay. Yeah. Do you have anything you want to add about this grand trine?
No, just that it's in water, of course. So it's it's in the feeling realm, right? So your intuition might be more turned on. You'll have a sense of things potentially. And yeah, I think as we head into Sunday, that Venus square Pluto exact is, happens over the weekend. Now the moon will be in opposition to Uranus, which I'm not sure is a big deal unless you're like, a Cancer ruled sign and you want to know there could be surprises in that regard. Now, the moon is going to be void Sunday evening for a couple of hours, 5:30 to 7:30 essentially. So, yeah, could be just a little bit of a chill evening on Sunday evening.
Yeah, I really think we have some blessings coming this week if we're able to be open to them. That kind of thing. So I think we just have to be open to what's to come, open to the blessings from the universe. Now let's get to these comments here. Thank you, Corey's baby. Your life doesn't run without us. I understand. That's why we made an effort to at least pop on and share what we know this week.
Thank you.
And thank you. We appreciate you. We're so glad that you tune in every week. We appreciate that. We appreciate you tuning in, sharing it with others, and those kinds of things. Thanks, Chelsea, for choosing in. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Chelsea, for choosing to tune in. It's where Mercury was so retrograde, talking backwards. Okay. I appreciate both of you coming in and sharing this time with us. Corey said, I'm extremely worried about Thursday. I go to court, and so far the other side has been playing games, and I'm worried about how it's going to work out with the judge. I don't want to stay here after some of the things that's happening, and I'm having trouble finding another place, and I'm starting to freak out. Okay, well, don't freak out, Corey. Don't do that. Don't do that, Shawnee.
But you saw what we saw about Wednesday and Thursday between that full moon and then the void moon on Thursday. I think you're going to be okay.
Probably be less drama than you think. You're probably the anticipatory anxiety is probably more of an issue. But after a moment, I reel myself back in and remind myself that the universe has had me this far, and it'll all work out. All work out. Yep, and it will. In what's going on with the war. Yeah. The thing is that the thing is, Shawnee, is that, and I had another talk today with another person about the war, and the thing is that we have Neptune and Saturn, the sun, and now Mars is going to join it next week in Aries this month, and with this full moon in Aries, with the sun in Aries, I feel that the potential for war is there. Obviously it's already happening. Of course, no one can predict exactly what that war is going to look like. Could it happen on the American soil? Absolutely. It's probably more likely to happen towards the end of April when Uranus goes into Gemini, or sometimes soon after that, because in history, that's when it's happened in the past. Gemini is the twin, and Uranus is explosions. It's also surprises and things of that nature. And with it, with all these planets and energy in Aries, we could easily break out in some conflicts here on this land. Hopefully not, but could happen. Maybe in some ways it would be better, because sometimes I feel like Americans forgotten how intense war can be. We watch it on TV, and I think that can be kind of hard, right? So, um, Good job. Good job, Shawnee. Shawnee said, I try not to watch the news too much. And I definitely do not get my news from American channels. I usually get it from BBC. That's probably a good choice there, Shawnee. That's pretty good balance. She said, because I mean, seriously, America's news is corrupt. You got that right. Boy, is it. It definitely is. Definitely, I double check anything I read or see. I would encourage you to do the same. Anything you hear could be BS. So make sure you fact check it. There's lots of checking sites out there. So let's see, Shawnee, I'll take a look at your chart because I can real quick. Let's see, where do we go? Here we go. Shawnee says she's having something on Thursday. Oh, in Aries, huh? So, oh, but it's pretty far off from your south node. This is about the past, I think. It's about place that you live. Oh, I feel like on Saturday you're gonna have a grand trine with Scorpio. That's where that grand trine is the moon is gonna be down in your home, along with Jupiter, which has to do with home in Cancer, and the Mercury in retrograde. So whatever you need to know about your home, Shawnee, is going to happen on Saturday. So don't worry about it too much, okay? Because that's Saturday. You're probably going to hear something or know something or find something out by Saturday. It will be that grand trine's going to just light that area up. So I wouldn't worry about it too much, Shawnee. So I think you're okay. And with Thursday, as far as Thursday goes, the sun is on your south node in Aries. I think it might be better than you think it is. It's not, it's probably going to be like Bright Hawk said, be kind of chill because it's a void moon. So it might just be kind of like, yeah, nothing really big just happened there. So,
we wish you all the best.
Yeah.
May everything work out.
There you go, Shawnee. You got it. Okay. They probably will. It'll probably just be no drama. Okay. All right, everyone. We hope that you have benefited from this forecast. We hope that you're okay. We appreciate you. We appreciate you sharing, commenting. We appreciate you following and catching us every week. And we hope that you are navigating these times. Remember, there are blessings heading your way. So open your heart and be ready to receive them this week. Good luck, everyone. And we wish you all the best this week. I wish you all good things. All right.
Many thanks. Take care. Have a great week. Thanks so much for spending time with us this week. We hope you're feeling more connected to the cosmic energies in your life and what works for you. We send you lots of love on your journey. If you enjoyed today's show, please hit that subscribe button. It really helps reach more people who could use some cosmic guidance. Hey, and don't forget to share this episode with anyone who might need or want to hear it. And we love hearing from you, so drop us a comment and let us know what resonated most for you, or if you'd like to hear something new next week. Your questions and feedback make us better. Want to join us live? Subscribe! Catch us on Facebook and YouTube. And that's where you can ask real-time questions and be part of the Rainbow Soulstrology community while it happens. Until next week, trust your intuition, follow your inner wisdom, and remember, the stars are always supporting your journey. Thanks for listening to Rainbow Soulstrology, where we try to be a bridge between you and the stars.